When I found Marietta, I didn't just find a place to go to college. I found so much more than that.
I found friends. I found sports.
I found my passion.
I found family.
I found my calling. I found a place to call home. Discover what you can find at Marietta by visiting marietta.edu today.
Coming up today on NewsCenter 15, the UK cracks down on fake news.
And a refugee soccer player finally returns home.
We'll have these stories and more. NewsCenter 15 starts right now. Good afternoon and welcome to Tuesday's edition of NewsCenter 15. I'm Landon Santini.
And I'm George Riffle.
Topping our news this afternoon, a refugee soccer player thanked Australia on his return home Tuesday, hours after the threat of extradition to Bahrain was lifted 3 months after he was detained in Thailand. Thailand had come under great pressure from Australia's government, sporting bodies and human rights groups to send Hakim Al-Arabi back to Australia, where he has refugee status and plays semi-professional soccer. Hundreds of supporters carrying welcome signs and singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" met Hakim at the Melbourne airport to welcome his return.
Retired astronaut Mark Kelly, who came to the national spotlight after a failed assassination attempt on his wife, Congresswoman Gabrielle Ginsburg. He's running to finish John McCain's last term in the U.S. Senate as a Democratic candidate. He will be racing against Republican candidate Martha McSally. McSally is a former congresswoman after losing her seat to Democrat Christine Sinzman this past year. She was appointed by the current governor, Doug Ducey, after his first appointee resigned. This heated 2020 election will decide who will finish the last 2 years of McCain's term. The winner would have to run again in the 2022 for the full 6-term year.
Well, what could the weather be like outside today? It sounds like it's pouring down pretty hard in terms of rain.
Here to provide us the weather, we go to Cooper.
So our weather recently has been quite interesting, from severe snowstorms one day and then severe rainfall the next. But currently it feels 52 outside with some rain. Our high for today is 52. Of course, we have a low UV rating, so of course still wear some sunglasses. We have excellent air quality, and with the rain we have a low pollen count. The winds are going south at 12 miles per hour with a humidity of 80%. Our sunrise is at 7:21 and it will set at 5:58 today. And that's majority of what we have for you right now. Today's conditions. I'll check back in later with our 5-day forecast.
Thank you very much. In other news, a newborn girl with her umbilical cord still attached was found by a newspaper carrier in the middle of a rural road before dawn in near freezing temperatures. Sheriff officials say a man walking around 4:30 a.m. Monday was approached by a woman in a white SUV who asked him to take her baby. He refused and suggested she take the newborn to a fire station or hospital. Authorities are seeking the mother. A
British government-commissioned report is calling for a regulator to oversee online platforms such as Facebook and Google to help weed out fake news. Academic Francis Crosses says tech firms should be obliged to help users understand the origins of news articles and the trustworthiness of their sources. She says a regulator is needed because of this task is too important to leave entirely to the judgment of commercial entities. Google reacted cautiously, saying Tuesday that it looked forward to discussing the proposals further to ensure sustainable, high-quality journalism in the UK. Crane Chorus was also asked to investigate sustainability of quality journalism amid declining newspaper sales and falling revenues.
Coming up next, an OSU student has been abducted and a Middleborn woman indicted.
We'll be back after this.
I never chew tobacco.
I don't drink much.
Never smoked a cigarette in my life.
HPV. Isn't that about cervical cancer?
What does that have to do with oral cancer?
HPV? Didn't know that.
Police say a man is suspected of abducting a female student from an Ohio State University campus. The university's Department of Public Safety said in a news release that student Skylar Williams was in a parking lot at OSU's Mansfield campus shortly before noon on Monday when she was approached by the male suspect. The release says the man displayed a handgun and forced the student into his vehicle and fled with her. Authorities located the vehicle but are still searching for both the student and the suspect. Police say the man is also suspected of stealing a vehicle at gunpoint Monday afternoon. The vehicle is described as a dark 2019 Dodge Caravan with the license plate FMZ 9621. Anyone with information is asked to contact the State Highway Patrol.
Last Tuesday, a woman was indicted on charges of threatening to kill President Donald Trump. 25-year-old Taryn Corine Hethorn of Middleborn, West Virginia, made threats on Facebook and elsewhere last month. If convicted, Hethorn faces up to 5 years in prison and a $200,000 fine on each of the 3 counts. It's unclear if Hethorn has a lawyer.
Republican lawmakers in Ohio proposed again on Monday one of the most restrictive abortion measures in the nation. New Republican Governor Mike DeWine has indicated he would sign the heartbeat bill that was twice vetoed by his predecessor John Kasich. The bill would ban abortion once a fetal heartbeat is detected, which can be as early as 6 weeks. That's often before many women know they're pregnant. Opponents of the bill have argued it is unconstitutional. NARL Pro-Choice Ohio has called it an unacceptable restriction on access to health care on the other hand, the state's oldest and largest anti-abortion organization, Ohio Right to Life, committed to advocating for the bill this year.
Dozens of speakers crammed to 2 public hearings Monday to speak against an education bill in West Virginia that teachers' unions claim is retaliation for a 9-day strike last year. Most speakers at the hearing opposed the evolving bill, especially provisions that would include establishing charter schools and education savings accounts for families to pay for private schools. Some speakers suggested that missing from the bill included smaller class sizes and additional resources such as social workers and mental health counselors in schools. On Saturday, unions representing teachers and school service workers announced statewide action if needed in response to the legislation. However, the unions did not specify when or what type of action.
Coming up next, a local plant is causing a unique disturbance.
We'll have this story and more after this.
And don't forget to stay tuned for your weather lookout for the week ahead.
Where are we?
We're at Marietta College.
This is where we live, at Marietta College.
Your flu vaccine yet? Make that your mission for today.
Did you say mission? Let's do this. With the flu season coming up, we all have to help protect ourselves by getting the flu vaccine. If you're over 65 like me, you gotta even be more careful. Look out!
Our immune system may not be as strong as it used to be, so we have to do everything we can to keep the flu from catching up with us.
Educating yourself about your flu vaccine options is important. It's also really easy. So ask about your vaccine options, because if you're a tough guy like me, you may need a tough vaccine.
The flu can aggravate other conditions, so make it your mission to get the right flu shot for your age.
Lee, is that you? Did you complete your mission?
Oh, you mean the flu shot? No sweat. Visit the National Council on Aging at ncoa.org/flu to learn more about vaccine options for people 65 and older.
A West Virginia county official says it may be several months until a humming sound stops drifting across the Ohio River from a manufacturing plant in Washington County, Ohio. Wood County Commission President Blair Couch tells the Parkersburg News and Sentinel that local leaders met with the plant last week about the sound plaguing the area. Couch says he was told they spent about $15 million to reduce its dust output and install an air scrubber, which has fans that are believed to be causing the noise. Sheriff Steve Stevens has said the noise is a constant hum and some residents have complained of screeching sounds.
The city of Marietta has retained Tech Engineering to conduct a traffic impact study and evaluate the effects of a potential closure of Butler Street from 4th to 7th Streets to accommodate proposed improvements by Marietta College. The city has scheduled a Streets and Transportation Committee meeting at 4:15 p.m. Wednesday in the meeting room number 10 at the Armory, 241 Front Street, Marietta. Williams, Vice President of Tech Engineering, will give a presentation on the Butler Street Traffic Impact Study and recommendations. The public is encouraged to attend, and there will be opportunities for questions and comments after the presentation.
A tentative agreement between Wright State University and faculty union negotiations in Ohio has won the approval of WSU's trustees and will be voted on soon by union members. Faculty members began striking January 22nd and returned to classrooms Monday after the tentative pact's approval on Sunday. The nearly 5-year deal includes contracts extending through June of 2023. It calls for the roughly 560 members of Wright State's chapter of the American Association of University Professors to join a university-wide healthcare plan. Faculty will get up to a 2.5% raise in 2020 and a 2.5% raise in 2023. An award for entertainment news goes to...
Here's Cooper Holmes with a look at the Hollywood Minute.
This year's Oscar nominees and those watching the awards ceremony at home will have a different experience than in past years. To keep the telecast to 3 hours, the Academy's president has informed members that 4 categories will be announced during commercial breaks: cinematography, film editing, live-action short, and makeup and hairstyling. It's unclear how much time that will save, as Academy President John Bailey says the winners' speeches will air later in the broadcast. To see those categories live, you'll have to go to online, where the live stream viewers will see them as they happen. Bailey and the Academy are tightening the show in another way as well. There was already a 45-second limit on acceptance speeches, but at last week's nominees luncheon, Bailey and the award show producers said winners will have 90 seconds total from the moment their names are called to make it from their seats to the podium and complete their speeches. Vanity quotes Bailey saying, "When you head to the stage, move quickly, show us how eager you are to get up there. Let's just hope the winners have breath to speak after racing onto the stage." In Hollywood, I'm Cooper Holmes.
Thank you very much for that, Cooper. Well, I don't know about you, but for the last several weeks, we've had quite the time with weather, with it mixing between rain and snow and good grief. So what do you think? Let's have a look at the weather.
Yeah, let's go to Cooper Holmes with the weather.
So you're exactly right, Landon. We've had some quite interesting weather through the past couple days, and I think at this beginning of the week as well. As you can see, on the East Coast, we're having a lot of precipitation come our way towards the Ohio and West Virginia border in our Marietta area. This has been in many different forms, from just rain to snow and sleet that we experienced days prior. And if we look ahead, some of our other maps we see, currently we're having a high in the 50s to very rarely 60s, but kind of that 50s to 40s areas where a majority of our weather is right now, allowing that precipitation to occur. Now if we take a look at our next graphic, we see that our lows in the area are getting still down in that 30s to 20s type range at night, with some varying temperatures going throughout the week. Speaking of the week, well, first we're going to look at some more precipitation in a closer view in our area. Again, we have more of this rain kind of coming in our area at the moment, with some snow occurring above us, but of course it'll vary between the week and the temperatures to what precipitation we will actually get in our area. Now looking ahead at our week, our 5-day forecast, we can see on Wednesday there'll be a high of 34, a low of 31 with a 40% chance of rain. Thursday, we'll have a high of 50, a low of 46, and a partly sunny day, so of course we're starting to warm up as the week continues. On Friday, it'll be a high of 46, a low of 30 with a 50% chance of rain. Of course, that looming precipitation is still around. And Saturday, we'll have a high of 37, a low of 22, and a 30% chance of snow. So we're going to get some warm patches within the week, but then go right back to those cold spells. And of course, finishing off on Sunday with a high of 36, a low of 25, and a 30% chance of a frozen mix. So of course, be careful out there as you travel around, whatever precipitation you might encounter, and always just prepare for any weather that may occur during the week.
Thank you very much. When we come back, Jessica Hill will have the latest from the wide world of sports.
Stay with us.
Cancer may be tough, but we are tougher. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Our game-changing research has led to the belief that the cures for cancer are in our blood. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Beating cancer is in our blood.
And now as promised, we're back with Jessica Hill for a look at the wide world of sports.
What do you got for us, Jessica?
Well, the Cleveland Cavaliers sent the New York Knicks to a franchise record 17th straight loss Monday night after erasing a 17-point deficit in the second half. Colin Sexton led the way for Cleveland with 20 points and hit 2 free throws with 17 seconds remaining to put the Cavs up 107-104. Monday was the second game back for power forward Kevin Love, who returned Friday after missing 50 games due to foot surgery. Love had 14 points and 9 rebounds for the Cavs and is expected to play Wednesday against Brooklyn in the final game before the All-Star break. And then Pittsburgh Penguin goalie Matt Murray guzzled a sports drink through his post-game interview after making a career-high 50 saves in the Penguins' 4-1 victory over the Philadelphia Flyers Monday night. Murray was a wall for the Penguins, blocking a record-breaking 28 shots in the second period. Sidney Crosby led the way offensively with 1 goal and 1 assist, his 24th of the season and 40th goal in 65 career games against Philadelphia. The Penguins will face the Oilers tomorrow at 8 p.m. in Pittsburgh. And the Heisman Trophy winner and MLB first-round pick Kyler Murray says he is pursuing a career in the NFL after speculation the Oklahoma quarterback would choose a baseball career over the NFL. Murray tweeted that he is firmly and fully committing his life and time to becoming an NFL quarterback, adding that football has and always will be his love and passion. Murray was drafted 9th overall by the Oakland Athletics last June before returning to the University of Oklahoma, leading the Sooners to the college football playoffs with 4,361 yards and 42 touchdowns. And in golf, Phil Mickelson finished 7th under to beat the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am and matched the tournament record with his 5th victory. Mickelson had a 2-shot lead over Paul Casey with 2 holes to play Sunday night before it became too dark to finish the match due to delays from a rain and hailstorm. Lefty finished out the course Monday morning with clear skies and bright sunshine, making a 6-foot birdie on the 18th hole for a 3-shot victory over Casey. Mickelson will turn 49 on the final day of this year's U.S. Open, and a win would make him the oldest men's major champion.
Thank you so much for that, Jessica. Now joining us at the desk for our final look at the weather is Cooper. So could you give us a little bit of a summary of what's going to happen this week in terms of weather? It seems like it's going to be very wet.
That it is. I mean, in the words of one of our fellow meteorologists, I like rain. And that's basically the epitome of this week. It's just various forms of precipitation with various temperatures. So always have a jacket and an umbrella is the best thing, I think, to do.
You should have seen the Ohio River. Its level was like really high as I was driving by here. It kind of freaked me out a little bit. So be careful of that because I know that the college is very near the river.
Yes, very much. So anyone traveling, please stay safe out there with all the rising water levels as well.
Well, that just about does it for today's broadcast. From all of us here at WCMO TV, thank you for watching today and throughout the semester. Thank you very much. We'll see you again next week on Tuesday at noon 30 and 6:30 for more NewsCenter 15. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
You stay classy, Marietta.